Collusion by Amy Moreno for TruthFeedNews.com. There's a new report from investigative journalist John Solomon that is blowing the lid off the Mueller witch hunt and shedding more light on the sinister timeline. Turns out DOJ official Bruce Ohr met with FBI officials in July of 2016 regarding the Russia probe, and he was promoted to do so from his friend Christopher Steele, who wrote the dirty dossier. From the Hill, July and August 2016, one day may be remembered as the infamous summer of Steele and Ohr. That's because new evidence shows former Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Ohr's efforts to influence the FBI's Russia probe on behalf of Donald Trump, despising British spy Christopher Steele, started much earlier than previously described. That's a very key factor here. For much of the past year, many in Congress have labored under the notion that Ohr, then number 4 Department of Justice DOJ official, began assisting the FBI's probe into Russian election collusion only after Trump won the 2016 election. Lawmakers' belief was rooted in reports showing Ohr's first documented interview with FBI agents occurred in November of 2016, and in testimony from Fusion GPS founder Glenn Simpson, who mentioned Ohr's involvement in the probe as starting after Thanksgiving 2016. But now, based on Ohr's own account in a closed-door congressional interview and other contemporaneous documents, congressional investigators have learned that Ohr made his first contact with the FBI about Trump-Russia collusion evidence in late July and early August 2016, and his approach was prompted by information he got from his friend, the former British intelligence agent Steele. The discovery is one of several key pieces of evidence emerging in recent weeks that explain how the FBI probe pivoted suddenly from looking at the conduct of Trump advisor George Papadopoulos to consuming a document now infamously known as the Steele dossier. The FBI formally opened the Trump campaign probe, codenamed Crossfire Hurricane, on July 31st, 2016, based on an Australian diplomat's claim that Papadopoulos, a young Trump campaign foreign policy aide, appeared to have prior knowledge that Russia had derogatory information it planned to release on Hillary Clinton. Agents feared Papadopoulos might be looking to create contacts in Moscow to gain access to that Clinton dirt. But multiple sources tell me the FBI soon received information now considered, quote, highly classified, that undercut the theory of the Papadopoulos case. One source described the evidence as indisputably exculpatory, while another said the information put the predicate used to start the case in reversal. Whatever the nature of that classified evidence, the FBI's own account in court records shows agents suddenly seemed to lose a sense of urgency about the Papadopoulos allegations. They inexplicably waited about 6 months to interview both the Trump campaign aide and the European professor who allegedly alerted Papadopoulos to the Russian dirt and introduced him to Moscow contacts. Are they talking about M.SHAH? Instead, agents pivoted more aggressively to a different set of allegations of Russian Trump collusion, those gathered by former British MI6 agent Steele, who at the time was working to dig up dirt on the GOP nominee as part of a Fusion GPS project funded by Hillary Clinton and the DNC. Steele first approached the FBI about the raw intelligence of possible Trump-Russia ties on July 5, 2016, when he stopped by the Bureau's office in Rome. Whatever transpired there, that first contact was not enough to cause the FBI to start an immediate probe. Then Ohr, the number 4 DOJ official, intervened according to the newly discovered information. Ohr'S account to Congress and his contemporaneous notes show he had multiple contacts with Steele in July of 2016. One occurred just before Steele visited the FBI in Rome, another right after Steele made contact. A third contact occurred July 30th, 2016, exactly one day before the FBI and its counterintelligence official, Peter Strzok, opened the Trump probe officially. Steele met with Ohr and Ohr's wife, Nellie, in a Washington hotel restaurant for breakfast. At the time, Nellie, Ohr, and Steele worked for the same employer, Simpson's Fusion GPS opposition research firm, and on the same project to uncover Russia dirt on Trump, according to prior testimony to Congress. Ohr told lawmakers that his wife made about $45,000 for her work at Fusion in 2015 and 2016, and he disclosed to the FBI officials that he might have a conflict because his wife worked for the same firm as Steele for a period of time. Steele's emails asking for the July 30th, 2016 breakfast suggested he had information to discuss about a favorite business tycoon. GOP investigators believe that could have been a reference to Trump, or has said he thinks the reference may have been to Russian billionaire Oleg Deripaska, a man both he and Steele hope to flip as a prosecution witness against the Trump presidential campaign chairman Paul Manafort. Congressional Democrats are more inclined to believe Ohr's description, but the differences in opinion really don't matter. That's because Ohr acknowledged to Congress that the July 30th, 2016 meeting involved a discussion about the allegations Steele had been gathering against Trump and Russia. More significantly, Ohr told Congress the information related by Steele that day so concerned him that it prompted him to reach out to the FBI and pass it along, even though he knew he had a conflict of interest given his wife's work for Fusion on the same project. According to my sources, Ohr called then Deputy Director Andrew McCabe the same day as his Steele breakfast and met with McCabe and FBI lawyer Lisa Page on August 3rd to discuss the concerns about Trump-Russia collusion and that Steele had relayed. Ohr disclosed to lawmakers that he made another contact with the FBI on August 15, 2016, talking directly to Strzok. Within a month of Ohr passing along Steele's dirt, the FBI scheduled a follow-up meeting with the British intelligence operative, and the path was laid for the Steele dossier to support a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act FISA warrant to surveil Trump campaign aide Carter Page. Just as important, Ohr told Congress he understood Steele's information to be raw and uncorroborated hearsay, the sort of information that isn't admissible in court, and he told FBI agents that Steele appeared to be motivated by a desperate desire to keep Trump from becoming president. There is now growing confidence that the FBI's sudden pivot from Papadopoulos to Steele was driven by several individuals, all with serious political baggage. Page and Strzok exchanged text messages about their desire to stop Trump from becoming president. Steele admitted he was desperate to keep Trump from the presidency. Ohr's wife worked for the firm hired by Clinton to find dirt on Trump, and McCabe's wife was a Democratic candidate in Virginia whose campaign got hundreds of thousands of dollars of electioneering help from Clinton's ally and former Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe. Ohr's new account could be potentially explosive, both for Republicans trying to make the case that the FBI engaged in misconduct in investigating Trump, and for the DOJ Inspector General's probe into whether the FBI misled a federal court in seeking the Trump campaign warrants. I mean, all of this just to see if the FBI misled the courts. Come on, we already know the FBI misled the courts. Far more investigation needs to be done to resolve what happened, but there are now more serious questions about the FBI's conduct, thanks to Ohr'S candor. For starters, why did the FBI allow Ohr to participate in the Steele matter when there was a known conflict with his wife's employment? And did they ever disclose that conflict to the court? Of course not, and they allowed it because they hate Trump. They want to get him out. So why did the FBI fail to disclose to the court that Steele was being paid by Democrats to help defeat Trump, or that Steele himself was desperate to stop Trump because they were all in on it? How about that? Did agents misrepresent hearsay evidence as corroborated intelligence? Of course they did. And should the FBI have shut down the probe? It should have never been started to begin with. After the original predicate about Papadopoulos was called into question, rather than pivoting to Steele, especially since two key bureau employees involved in it, Strzok and Page had their own expressed desire to keep Trump from winning the presidency. The answers to these questions are essential to the American public and its ability to continue to trust the very important work of the FBI and DOJ and the larger intelligence community. Listen, the top echelons of the FBI and DOJ and intelligence community, you got it. They're all in on it, and they're all corrupt. You have to prosecute Brennan, Clapper, Obama, Hillary, all of them, and Comey, Rosenstein, McCabe, and the rest of the gang. I thought they were going to give us a date that it's the whole investigation. Why do they keep, like, they don't come out with this information? Because it's key. If it started before July 31st, 2016, the investigation on all of this, if it started before July 31st, it nullifies everything that the Mueller investigation and everything. And the thing is that, look, I don't understand why it's taken them so long. Get the paperwork, get the dates on them, and start prosecuting. That's basically what I have to say about it, and I'm more than sure everybody else will agree with me here. Because enough is enough with, did they not? Of course, it's obvious what they did. Why is it taking so long? I mean, here they're running up a $22 million investigation by Mueller, and by now it should be like 23, 24 million. And they're running the investigation on nothing, and here we know already that they are guilty of all of this. So start prosecuting and put that Comey behind bars also, because with his tweets that get me sick to my stomach, he always tweets out another author's tweet. Come up with your own crap, Comey. You know,